Hi, this is Debbie, and today we're going to talk about how to change your thinking, how to change your thoughts. We've all heard the quote, if you change your thinking, you will change your life. And that's very inspirational, and it's nice to think that all we have to do is change our thinking and our life will just magically change. However, we have to be aware of our thoughts and our thinking for us to be able to change it. And that in itself is very hard because most of the time we're all walking around on autopilot. So I want to kind of describe a process for you and how you can actually start becoming aware of your thoughts and how you can actually change your thinking. So the first part of that is in order for there to be a thought, there has to be a circumstance or an event. So something happens and we're not in control of circumstances and events that happen in our lives, but we are in control of how we think about it. So first off, there's a circumstance or an event. And then we have a thought about that circumstance or an event. And then that thought creates an emotion or a feeling. And based on that feeling or emotion, we take an action. And based on that action, we get a result. So if you're having a negative thought about something, the results are probably not going to be good. And again, this is that cycle where it says, you can't change your life if you don't change your thinking. So we have to interrupt that thinking pattern, and that's easier said than done. So let's talk about becoming aware of our thoughts. So that's the first step, and that's 50% of the battle, is just becoming aware of our thoughts. So since I worked with business owners and CEOs, I'm going to give you a real life business example. And this one happens a lot. So real life business example is business owner did not get his work done, the things that he wanted to accomplish in the day or in the week are not getting done. So his thought is, I have more to do than I have time to do it. And the feeling is frustrated and overwhelmed. The action is, I'm going to have to work late, I'm going to have to take work home, or I'm going to have to work over the weekend. And the result is that the business owner is more stressed, the spouse is unhappy because he's working late again. The kids are unhappy because it impacts their weekend and the time they get to spend with their parent. So it's just a bad circumstance. So we're going to look at the same situation, but we're going to interject a new thought, which is going to cause a new feeling, a new action, and a new result. So the circumstance is the same. The circumstance is the business owner did not get everything accomplished that he wanted to get accomplished in his day or in his week. So the new thought is, I have more than enough time. I just need to really pay attention to what I need to get accomplished. I need to focus more and I can get it all done. So the feeling is less stressed, feeling hopeful, not having the feeling of overwhelmed, feels more in control. So the action is, I'm going to block out time in my schedule to work on these projects or tasks. I'm not going to allow myself to be interrupted or distracted. The action is he gets more work done. He's going to go home on time so he can have dinner with his family. He's not going to take work home in the evenings or on the weekend. And the result is he is happier because he's getting the break that he needs. His spouse is happier because he is home for dinner and spending time with the family, and spending time with the kids are happier because he's spending time with them on the weekend as well. So that's a real life example of how to change that thought. So I'm going to give you another example, one that's on weight loss, because I know a lot of people that are struggling with their weight or weight loss and having negative thoughts and negative feelings about themselves based on that. So part of what I coach on is I look at the whole person and their whole life. So I look at their personal goals and their professional goals. And a lot of people, their personal goals take a backseat to their business goals. So they're not spending the time that they need even for themselves. So, okay, so we're going to take an example of weight loss. So the circumstance is, I am 50 pounds overweight. The thought is negative. I have no self-control. I'm a loser. The feeling is depressed, anxiety. The action is, you know what? I'm going to eat more comfort food to make me feel better. And the result is I don't feel any better. I feel worse. And I'm going to end up gaining more weight. So let's go back and look at it again. So again, we're changing the thought. So again, the circumstance is the same. I am 50 pounds overweight. The thought is, you know, I'm not the weight I want to be at right now. The feeling is, you know what, hopeful. I can change this. The action is, you know what, I'm going to start off slow. I'm going to try 1 or 2 healthy new recipes a week. That's not overwhelming to look up and try 1 or 2 healthy recipes a week. That's not too stressful, because change in itself can be stressful. I'm going to, if I'm not exercising, you know what, I'm going to try to walk around the block once a week, or I'm going to walk a couple blocks at lunchtime, or I'm going to try to start exercising more and scheduling that into your day. And the result is that you're starting to feel better about yourself. You know what? Some recipes are great, some recipes suck, but you know what? I feel good that I tried out a new healthy recipe. I feel good that, you know, I went walking or did some exercise once or twice this week. I can continue to do this, the small baby steps. And the result is you start feeling better about yourself and you start seeing a little forward progress. So again, the circumstances are the same. It's just the thought that we need to change. So again, like I said, a lot of times we are just on autopilot, and it just feels like we're reacting to the circumstance. But there is actually a pause in there. There is actually a thought that creates a feeling that causes the action. So sometimes it's easier to start with the feeling, the emotion, because we can recognize, it might be easier to recognize actually, when we're feeling upset, when we're feeling frustrated, when we're feeling angry. And that's where you can stop and ask yourself a question. Okay, why am I feeling angry? Why am I feeling depressed? Why am I feeling overwhelmed? Why am I feeling sad? Ask yourself, what is the thought that is making you feel that way? And what is the circumstance that is making you feel that way? So it's just, again, becoming aware of our thoughts. And like I said, sometimes it's easier to become aware of the feeling than it is the thought. And then go back and ask yourself the question, what is the thought? And how can I interject a new positive thought? Even though it might feel like a little fake at the time, like, you know, feeling like, oh, I'm 50 pounds overweight, but I can change that. Sometimes that's a hard thought to interject. But that's all part of changing your thought process, is interjecting a new thought. You know what? I am in control of my weight, and I can do something about it. And I can take baby steps. And I'm not going to give myself a hard time if it doesn't work out the first couple of times I try new recipes or I try to exercise. This is all a learning process. So again, if you want to change your thoughts to change your life, this is where to begin. So I hope you have found this helpful. I'm going to try to put together a little PDF and see if I can attach it. This is my first YouTube video, so I don't really know all the ins and outs of that yet, but I'm going to try to add that in there somewhere so that you'll just have something that you can go back and refer to. So I hope you have found this helpful. I hope you will subscribe to my channel, as I'm going to be talking about other things to take back control of your day, control of your life, and to live with intention. Thanks so much. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.